even if this is, true, not to the extent of what we're saying. And I mean, again, I just think it's over. It's a deal breaker. How much more can the NFL and the other owners really take of Washington and Dan Snyder right now? That's what that's the question. It's become, something again there. I know it's different, but it's not where, conduct detrimental to the Shield is being led by an owner right now. It's being led. He is the most conduct detrimental thing in the NFL. And, as we know, yes, maybe he was down the street running the team, but not in the building at times. And it's just, that pisses me off as an ex-player. I'm sorry.
Look at what we're seeing. Look at what we're seeing on the screen.
Right.
This guy is supposed to be exiled from the team. This is the day that they unveiled their new uniforms. He goes up the steps first, ahead of the person who's supposed to be running the team, and he goes to the microphone first, and he talks first. This guy is supposed to not be involved in the day-to-day operations of the team and everything that goes along with that. And this is going to loop again. He's the first one up the steps. Here he comes. He beat the person who's supposed to be running the show to the microphone, and he's the first one to speak. And this gets back to something that the commissioner said last week. He insisted that Daniel Snyder is not involved in the day-to-day role that he previously had, that this is a reality of the punishment or whatever it was. I mean, there's this whole back and forth. Did he do it voluntarily? Did he do it involuntarily? Does he need permission from the commissioner to come back? Does he not need permission? Well, what the commissioner said last week was he's still not involved. The Washington Times reports the next day that he is involved. He has resumed his prior role with the team, which would seem to be a fairly red flag. And I asked the league for comment. Well, the commissioner addressed it Tuesday. Yes, on Tuesday he said he's not involved. On Wednesday, a report emerges that he is involved. That would seem to cry out for some further comment by the league. But the league is keeping its mouth very, very shut on this. And I think they're treading lightly because they don't want to fight with Dan Snyder more than they need to. And also, Chris, I'm suspicious, and I don't know this. This is just speculation based upon the reports that are available to us. I can't help but wonder whether somebody who knows what's going on is cooperating at the not-so-gentle nudging of the NFL. I think it's a former employee. I don't know who. I don't think it's Bruce Allen. But I think somebody who knows something is cooperating with this committee at the direct behest of the league to try to finally make this happen. And the clock is ticking because if the Republicans resume control of the House of Representatives come November for the midterms, this committee's work as it relates to the Commanders is done. The plug gets pulled. It's over. So what is it? It's April 4. We got until November, early November, as a practical matter, to see this play out. And the committee has until then to get it done. So we go forward and we see what they do. But, this stuff didn't come out accidentally last week. Somebody wants this to come out.
Right.
And I think it's a precursor to further reporting, further activity, maybe some hearings being held. But this isn't good. And at a minimum, doesn't the league have to come out and say it's investigating it? The league hasn't said anything. Shouldn't the league say, we're looking into this, we take this seriously? It's amazing that the league has said nothing.
Yeah, it is to me. It is. The whole thing's amazing. The whole handling of the Washington Commanders is not in line with the way the NFL handles anybody or anything else. It's like, for some reason, I don't know what it is. It's weird. I know they're owners and the rules are a little different. I get that, yes. But, man, even for the owners, the Washington Commanders is a stain on the NFL right now, plain and simple. And to the point where, I got to wonder if some of these owners are like, man, I hope he did steal so we can bust him and get him out of here and just get a new look or a new guy running the show there. I got to imagine some of the old school owners in the NFL do not like Dan Snyder and what he is doing to the league right now. And again, maybe not even guilty of a lot of these things, but regardless, the perception is not good. And they are looked at as a dysfunctional, major, in a big way, let alone they have people within their organization and people that work there are telling you that. Ron Rivera was saying last week, right, it's exhausting. He's exhausted from having to defend them all the time and always answer these questions. And then we heard from Alex Smith. So, damn, Washington used to be like one of those organizations I looked at to be really, really special, and the luster is off them right now.
At one level, some owners like the fact that there are dysfunctional teams because the dysfunction does bleed into the football team and it makes it easier to beat them. That is a real dynamic. The owners who know what they're doing relish the fact that a certain percentage of the league is inherently dysfunctional and it runs through the full organization and it makes it easier to win games when you play those teams. Secondly, and this is why they kept all of the details under wraps, I believe, based upon people I've spoken to, that none of the stuff came out about the findings from the Beth Wilkinson investigation back in July of 2021 when they announced the conclusion, but really didn't give us anything to support how they got to the conclusion, because I think if some of that stuff came out, it would be unsustainable for Daniel Snyder to continue. If we saw in chapter and verse detail the allegations that were validated by Beth Wilkinson, I think they were protecting themselves. They don't want that standard to apply to them. They don't want disgruntled employees to be able to kick up enough of a mess that an independent investigator comes in and starts looking for things and finds something, and the next thing you know, you're out the door. They're trying to protect themselves. But you get to a point where he is a stain on the entire shield, on the entire operation, if some of this stuff is true. And even, look, one of the reasons they beefed up the personal conduct policy back in 2007 with Pac-Man Jones and the late Chris Henry, the idea was if you're getting yourself in these jackpots often enough, even if you're ultimately blameless in each one, something's not right here. That was kind of the gist of,
That's right.
of why they did
Right.
it. You're getting arrested, even if you're innocent until proven guilty, and even if in each and every one of these situations you never go to jail.
Yeah.
The fact that you're getting yourself in these messes
Right.
requires intervention.
Yeah.
That
Kind of where
again,
we are here.
That's kind of where we are.
Yeah.
At a certain point, it doesn't matter if you didn't do it, and you can fight and buy all the best lawyers and mount a defense, and I'm exonerated here, and I'm exonerated here, and I'm exonerated here. We shouldn't have an owner who constantly has to go out and fight to be exonerated. There's something fundamentally wrong. There's something that disqualifies you from being an owner if you are constantly under siege. I guess that would be the way that I could express it and hope that other owners see that and say, we are going to be better off the moment that we no longer have to deal with this guy.
It seems that way right now. The way we sit, sitting here now, spring of 2022. I understand. Hey, the NFL owners, other that, like to your point, Mike, didn't want to set precedent with some of these things going after Dan Snyder. Okay, they'll do that. You're going to take some lumps from the media then if you don't want to set precedent. But now, we're filtering over past like, hey, don't worry about setting precedent. We're worried about we're going down here into it's like the start of a long spiral down here. We're going. Dan Snyder's going to screw the whole NFL, the whole league, all of us over. It's all going wrong. Again, it's never good. Congress is involved in investigating a football team, let alone there's a bunch of other issues to go along with it. At some point, you got to go, wait, the hell with precedent. He's going to set the precedent to take the damn league down here and just give us years and years of crap to deal with.
Well, here's something else you got to consider, because there is a belief that he's the one that leaked the John Gruden emails. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it's true.
Right.
All I know is there aren't many people that had access to them, and he was one of them because they were on his servers.
Yeah.
Okay? And when I say him, I mean his organization.
Right.
But there is a belief held by some, at least one person I know of specifically, who firmly believes those emails were leaked by Daniel Snyder, not by Roger Goodell or the NFL. My point is this. If they do push him out the door, what other damage is he going to do on the way out the door or once he's out the door, just as a vindictive reaction to being pushed out? What does he know about the league that he could use to try to bring others down, to try to bring the league down? And, there's going to be reporters out there that soak it all up like, a plate full of sauce and you got a hunk of Italian bread. They're going to want that. And I'd be interested in that. However the truth comes to light, the truth comes to light. If Daniel Snyder knows things that are credible and provable, yes, let's hear it. Whatever it takes, whatever the motivation. But I think they have to be concerned about that. They push this guy out the door. Anything he knows about other owners, other people in the league, anyone, anytime, any place, anywhere, you got to worry he's gonna let all that out And again, that's all the more reason to be careful about who you let in. Because if you let somebody in that you have to be worried they're going to do that, you never should have let them in the first place.
Yeah, I agreed there. Agreed. I got no more to say about the subject.
Well,
I'm out. I'm out of things to say.
You're out of ammo, Admiral Stockdale. I sent an email to the league while we were doing this segment to ask them for an official comment on the reporting from Front Office Sports that there was, because you can't say nothing here. How can you say nothing? You have to at least say this is incorrect, or you have to say this is a very serious matter and it will be investigated. Silence is unacceptable if you're the NFL here, because the allegation is that there may have been picking of the pockets of the other owners by one of the owners who held back money that should have gone to the league at large to be distributed to all teams. That is as serious of a financial allegation as you can make against an NFL owner as it relates to his interactions with his partner.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.